Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's go.
Gaming, tech, culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
You're listening to the Cool Black Nerd Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
So welcome everybody. This is Cool Black Nerd Podcast, episode number 10. It's your boy Jules. I'm here with Justice, and we're bringing this episode to you. So we're going to start in a place that, you know, we've talked about it a few times before, but apparently this time it's gotten ridiculous with, what's the name of the game? Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon.
So microtransactions. Seems like everything in this game, according to what I've read, like literally all the items can be purchased with some sort of points that you get from the game. But the only way to get these points is to buy some other kind of points on your credit card. So the example that was given is, I'm just going to call them skill points. I don't know if that's actually what they call. So let's say like a extended clip, you know, give you more ammunition in your weapon on the game, costs 400 skill points, but then you got to buy Ghost Recon points to get the skill points.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just earn the skill points in the game. You got to buy those with Ghost Recon points, and you can't earn Ghost Recon points. Only way you get Ghost Recon points is to buy them. And then this is always the kicker. So the little extended clip will be like 400 skill points, but you can only buy 600 Ghost Recon points for $4.99. So really, you're just paying $5 for this for this thing that's in the game, and it's really just a thing that should just be part of the progression. It's turning into a pay to win. It feels like to me.
Pretty much. I believe that there are some things that you can't. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I believe there are some things that you can just kind of grind out, but they're like far and few between. It just makes it so more along the Battlefront 2 type things where the grind is ridiculous. So they push it to do this or whatnot.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just you buy everything. Like everything is open to you. The most coveted gear is already open to you. Just buy it. It's like, why are you playing the game if that is the path that you want to take? The allure to me of gaming is usually the grind, is usually putting in the effort and the time to be able to like, okay, I earned this. I really can't see the enjoyment in just going like, oh, I bought this and now I'm done.
I mean, I think what makes it very predatory to me is like, it's not even about this sense of accomplishment. So let me give you an example. So like we play Destiny 2 a lot. There's a gun in Destiny 2 that right now, when you play PvP, it feels like if you don't have that gun, you might as well not even play. There's a sense of accomplishment in getting that gun because you do have to like really grind it out. It's not necessarily just a crazy grind, but it is something that you have to kind of work for to kind of earn it. That gun is not available for sale. What makes it worse to me is that when I go in and you feel this way about a weapon or something, or anything that's in a game, maybe it's some kind of, if you play Mario, maybe it's some kind of super mushroom or whatever, right? But there's some stuff that you should be able to buy to me. And for me, that's cosmetic stuff to make your player look cool.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to buy something that's like some of the top tier stuff in the game that makes the game fun or kind of helps somebody like me who may not be the best at like a PvP, help me get some kind of slight advantage to catch up. But it's still something that I need to go and earn. Like I used to hate using sniper rifles in Destiny 2, but there was a quest where it's like, in order for you to get this exotic, part of it is you had to get a bunch of sniper rifle kills, but working towards that helped me like using sniper rifles now. And I'm saying to me, you lose that, you lose this sense of competitiveness and accomplishment. But what really grinds my gears is when it's just like something that's meant to kind of show people that, hey, I really did something in the game. You shouldn't be able to just go buy that, I guess.
And we talked about this a little bit earlier. I believe it was in Diablo, did that auction house thing, because a lot of this stuff, like you said, is pretty much just being bought with real world cash. But you can essentially just go off, have this on here, and then sell it to somebody else who has been grinding or whatnot. I just don't understand the thought process behind it, but it's similar to the patent, or I guess kind of skeevy on the same lines as the patent that EA came up with. I don't know if you heard about this patent.
Is this the surprise mechanics again?
It's always surprise mechanics. So the previous patent that was like, are you serious? Was so you take a novice player and put them up against an experienced player in some sort of MMO type game, and have the novice be beaten by the experienced player. Once the match is over, then there's something that'll pop up and say, hey, this person was using this gun. if you want to achieve higher rank or whatnot, why don't you go ahead and purchase this and you'll be on the same tier as that other person that beat you.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
So they buy it, get into a match, and basically the same thing starts over. Somebody who does not have that gun is placing somebody who's below that person who just bought that gun, and they keep thinking that, okay, yeah, this was worth the money. Now, EA has actually done a patent where, okay, I put out an item in some way, shape, or form that's going to be purchased. It's going to have microtransactions to it. Buying this item in the first couple of days or so is at its highest value. The more people buy it, the less valuable it is, which basically is saying if you don't buy it right now, it's not going to be worth anything because we're going to drop the power and the usefulness of this.
Wow.
Exactly. So the more people buy it, the more useless it becomes. And at that point, I was just like, who is coming up with this shit? Like, this is some diabolical Dr. Evil shit.
You already know who it is.
I was like, this is insane. And I get the whole supply and demand type thing, but this is insane.
I don't know what it speaks to. Maybe it's just, I guess, our world, the culture now. But at what point, man, is it like you have to find a way to balance your
greed?
Which I understand. Yeah, there's a line between I'm making a profit, I'm making a good profit, and just straight up, I'm taking advantage of people to satisfy my greed.
Yeah.
I don't know that you can break it down to an individual person, right? Like, I don't necessarily, and I'm just going to use EA here, but I don't necessarily know that there's one person at EA that sits in the office and says, I'm specifically coming up with this diabolical scheme specifically for me to make the most money, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's once you start, and I can't even say, I don't even really want to blame it on this, but once you start having shareholders to answer to, I think, honestly, maybe the stock market and having shareholders and all that stuff that drives these companies, stuff like this. And it's gotten to the point where it's almost out of control because in order to get that stock price up, your company can't just be profitable year after year, right? It has to be more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
I don't know how you put that cat or that rabbit back in the hat or the cat back in the bag or whatever, whatever colloquialism people like to say. But
so it's all about now getting the data. It was, now that they're seeing how precious that data is of what people were doing in their everyday today lives to monopolize and monetize in some way, shape, or form. Now it seems like you have that. They're now just basically turning your own nuances against yourself, which is like, okay, the whole thing about society and wanting to do stuff like this is to get relief, to get some sort of release of, stress and things like that. That's why most people play video games to begin with. But the fact that going in, there's going to be something they're going to try to sell you. You get that. And that's a trade-off that a lot of people are willing to do because it brings you so much joy. But to this extent that they're starting to do this, and it started with the mobile gaming. Well, actually, I'll take that back because I didn't know how bad it has been and was in FIFA. So I think it may have started there and then jumped to mobile gaming.
Yeah. I honestly don't know that either. That shit is predatory. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's just to know going in that this is literally like being preyed upon by some sort of beast or like Blair Witch type shit, and it's in your own home on your phone. That's really fucking creepy. Like, I'm gonna get you. That is all I'm here to do.
Yeah.
Oof, man.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with other people, and it's like kind of to the point of what do you do? Like, for example, somebody that I was talking to recently has a lot of issues with some of the workplace practices that Amazon has, and they were like, let's be honest, people always say vote with your money, but at this point, how do you avoid Amazon? For some people that may not agree with it, like, how do you avoid Walmart? Like, how do you opt out of some of these things? So ingrained in our society, or just so so large. Like, they talk about the banks and shit that was too big to fail. Like, some of these companies now are too big to avoid, or some of these practices are too big to avoid. It's like, if I want to play video games, but I want to avoid having to deal with like some of these predatory microtransactions, it's starting to feel like at a certain point, you're just not going to be able to play video games.
Yeah. Or you make your own.
And see, people say stuff like that too, but it's not that, like, you don't just go and make a video game.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. You'd have to go through so much shit just to be able to have the same thing that you were having before, because they've taken away so much and you didn't realize it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the stuff that we've given up, you said it, just in society as a general, it's starting to become like a gilded cage type thing. You're not realizing that oh, me allowing Google to be able to record me whenever they want, then allows them to be able to get into any of the stuff that I've actually searched and done. And I just wanted to be able to have reminders be set for me by the little lady in my phone.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but at the same time, now it's like, how do you use the internet without using Google?
You could use Bing or Baidu or
yeah, but are you going to go to yahoo.com to search?
You know, to say it, I actually go to yahoo.com to find news articles, but I will not use its search.
You won't use the search engine?
Because they have some pretty good news articles and information on there. It's just
sure
they
do.
Sucks.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's just...
You know how many times I've typed in stuff like Google and it will bring up nothing? I can understand that. But still, I could type in Yahoo. It probably wouldn't even bring up Yahoo.
In the Yahoo?
Yeah, in the Yahoo search. Did you mean Yahoo? No, okay. No, Google. Just no. And a lot of people keep saying things like, oh, well, it's data breaches and this and that is why I don't use this or whatnot. You know how many times all these places are going to be hacked all the time because that stuff is so, not expensive, but just valuable now.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind that you will still have places that just have passwords like 1, 2, 3, 4 for all this shit on their servers. Fuck, are you serious?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
And we said all that to say Shadowkeep came out.
Yeah, pretty much. Shadowkeep came out. I like it a lot.
Too.
So far, I like it a whole lot. You know, they've made some changes to the game. And for all these predatory practices that we've been talking about just now, I honestly cannot say that Bungie has done that. I feel like if there is a right way to do it, and I'm putting right in quotation marks because, you know, I can't really say that I just enjoy microtransactions. But I feel like for what you spend your money on, you get a good amount of content. Especially given now that, you know, for new players, you just go download Destiny 2 now and like the original game, the first 3 expansions, all of the season passes from the previous year are just free now. And then they're kind of just asking you to buy in, honestly, into the next season. They've introduced a season pass similar to like Fortnite and other games like that, but theirs to me seems to be a little bit more balanced. It doesn't really push you to buy anything else on top of the season pass. If there is a right way, I think they're as close to that as you can be.
I would have to agree. I think the only thing I did not like about Shadowkeep was just kind of like the launch of it and not necessarily saying how they did it. I really wish they'd have done, oh, this is free for everyone, maybe a week or so beforehand, and then done the paid content type stuff afterwards, because I think it was just too much for them to do too soon, especially since they're doing all of this on their own now. And it may just be a learning lesson because they're actually speaking on wanting to do publishing themselves now. So there are plans to do that.
Just so everybody knows what you're talking about, referring to like when the expansion launched, they had a lot of issues with the servers. So they had to actually pull them completely offline for about 8 or 9 hours a day. So the game didn't really fully launch until, you know, maybe 9 hours after it was supposed to. And even then it was still having some issues. I can't say that I expected that. I'm disappointed that happened. But I mean, we've seen games launch where they've had issues for like a week.
That's true.
The entire life of the game and the developer just gives up. So I don't know.
Shade.
I'm just saying, like, maybe, you know, hopefully they did learn their lesson. And I wish I could tell you that I knew exactly what it took to launch a game like that. Yeah, I have no idea. I really don't.
And nor should we. I mean, honestly, considering, as we said, the launch was a little bit of a kerfluffle and it was just that their servers couldn't take it. And that's a good thing in a bad light. Still think it's a good thing because it shows that people have interest in your product and in what you're doing and playing your service. It also prepares you for what will happen in the future or whatnot. But basically, it's just kind of like, did you not think this was going to happen? That's how I feel. I'm trying to make light of it, but I understand, especially after this is breaking up kind of like with a bad relationship as Bungie left Activision as their publisher. I did not know at the time when they started this Destiny thing, you know, Jules has been a beta D1 or Destiny player.
I was actually in the alpha, but I will allow you to
same
continue.
Thing.
It's not the same thing.
No,
I heard Peter Dinklage say that witch came from the moon or that wizard came from the moon, and no one else heard that.
Okay, what I was trying to say is that you are a day one person. See? And
okay, yeah, we can get okay. I just had to make sure and people understood the actual day one, not like, oh, I played it after it came out and everybody else could play it.
anyways, I was just feeling like it could be a little bit better. So it's kind of like that feeling when you see that person after you have broken up and you're just like, I'm gonna look good. It could have gone a little better, but I still think it was good for what they did. The fuck just happened? I'm sorry. I'm actually playing D2 where we're doing it. I think one of the things that'll be the true test for them is this upcoming raid and this upcoming season pass and content after that, because like Jules said, everything is free for everyone, but will it be able to bring in numbers for people actually upgrading to the paid content for them? Or do they care? Do they want to just do like a Warframe type thing? And Warframe being a free to play game that is pretty similar to Destiny. It's like a space soap opera type thing, but the way that they have their content and things spaced out is not annual pass. It's more just microtransactions, but on the Fortnite level.
But it's just like cosmetics and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not really like a play to win type of deal.
But it's got really good content, really good mechanics, a really good story, and people like it. I actually played it during one of the lows of D2, and I have to say I liked it. Once I moved to PC, I just didn't really keep it up.
Okay. All I can do is agree with that about Warframe. Let's talk about actual Shadowkeep. What do you think of the story so far? What do you think of like the little gameplay?
I am very intrigued and loving the story so far. I will say that. It's creepy as hell. Very creepy. I like that. Kind of makes me feel like I'm playing Resident Evil in space or something. I am really interested to see what happens with this upcoming stuff with the raid and the Vex offensive or whatnot. Is that this week? Like, is that bringing Season of Undying or?
I don't know the answer to that. I think that it is. In the past, you know how like in Forsaken, once the raid was beaten, it was like the game changed again. Like the Dreaming City opened up, then you had all this stuff.
Yes.
And then they introduced this new story about the Dreaming City being reset every 3 weeks, which was just a sneaky genius to have you doing the same shit over and over again for every 3 weeks and have you feel like you're really doing something. I think that it'll probably be something like that once the raid is beaten, which I think is a good way to kind of get the community involved and invest in stuff like that. Something changes in the game and it changes for everybody. So I think that's what we're going to see once the raid, which the raid may be beaten now. I know you say you're starting to see some new stuff.
I'm actually playing. I think that'll probably be something that I continue to do. I liked when we did that before, we were just playing and doing podcasting.
Oh yeah, I got you.
So right now I'm on the moon, which is an area on Destiny, and there's just like Vex everywhere. Like everywhere. There's a lot of stuff that's changed. But you just mentioned something that I think will always keep me in Destiny as long as it stays this way. The community. Like, I love this community. It is such a helpful and fun, because even though you had some people who were very upset about the outages and things on the day of launch for Shadowkeep, the memes and the hilarity of these people about this just, I mean, tickled me to death. I could not stop looking through Twitter at some of this stuff. It was just too cute, too funny.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, though. And I agree. I love the community, and I'm not actually about to say anything bad about the community. It's kind of a tangent, and I'm sorry, guys. But like the way that the community handled that, like it wasn't people were trying to burn the building down at Bungie because it was messed up. It
some
was just
people
like,
wanted to.
Well, I'm saying like in general, where we've seen like, I mean, we've seen some revolts.
That's true.
Over some things where it's kind of like, man, there needs to be a little bit of understanding. I don't know, man.
No, you're right. You're completely right.
But that's part of the reason why I do like the community. And I believe that all of these gaming communities do have, like, I'm going to call them de facto community leaders. And I think like the leaders for the Destiny 2 community have all been, for the most part,
very good, gracious. They're not calling people freeloaders and
asshats and dick faces. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's I do enjoy the community as much as you do.
And I know there was one thing that someone actually said that we talk a lot about Destiny. It's just the game that we're playing right now. We do play other games, but it is something that we're playing together right now with our clan and other people. If you guys know any other games that we should check out, let us know.
Most definitely. All right, so Jessica, have you had a check out Joker yet?
No, still don't know if I actually want to.
Okay.
Kind of on the fence about whether or not, because there's been some controversy on that, whether or not they're going to make him into like a folk hero type thing or whatever.
Okay.
So I am still on the fence on that, but I'm a big DC fan, so I want to see it, but don't know yet. Have you checked it out?
I have, in fact, seen the movie.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to say this about it. This was my initial thought leaving the theater was DC needs to take every movie they've done before, whatever they do. Well, not everything they've done before, but whatever they're talking about with this DC universe right now, right? You need to throw that in the trash.
What?
And you need to start with Joker.
What?
This movie was so dead. Hey, man, I love Shazam, but
Wonder Woman?
Take whatever you're doing with DC Universe right now.
Okay.
And throw it in the trash because this was the place to start. I want to talk about it without providing spoilers, but I'll say this. A lot of people are concerned about whether or not Batman is in the movie. I'm telling you right now, I'm not telling you whether or not he's in the movie. All I'm saying is it doesn't matter.
I was just going to say that. Does that really have to, if it's a origin story for the most part, which the Joker has never had?
There's several ways that this movie could have gone where it would matter whether or not Batman was in the movie. Mm-hmm. But the way this movie was done, I'm telling you, it does not matter.
Okay.
The story it's a movie about the Joker, but this movie could have been about some dude named Steve. And it would still be interesting. It would still be a good ass movie. I think Joaquin Phoenix did a great job to the point where I'm concerned that somebody needs to go check on him and make sure that he's okay. Everything about the movie was good. Honestly, I know there's a lot of controversy with Todd Phillips right now. I know that some people were worried about this incel revolution happening in the movie theaters. Man, I don't know.
You have to explain that because, not everybody knows.
Well, I'm not even going to get into all what incels are. Just there were people that were concerned that, in the past that the young man shot up the movie theater during The Dark Knight, and people were concerned stuff like that could happen again with this movie. So all I can say is if you feel that way about it, do whatever you need to do to make sure that you feel comfortable going to the movie theater. In all honesty, I just went to the same movie theater I've always been going to. I didn't have a problem. Clearly, no one's had a problem because no one's had any reports of that yet. But if you feel like you need to be careful, be careful. I'm not trying to have you go out there and put yourself in danger and then come back and say, Cool Black Nerd Podcast told me to go see this movie. And
please don't. We are not liable for your shenanigans.
Right. We're not. It's a really good movie. I think that the way the movie is written, the way that the movie closes, you could build an entire universe or canon off the back of this movie. It's too good you can't keep this up.
What do you mean? Where do you go from here?
It's not even about where do you go from here. I don't know. The movie, to me, I think what it does, it does such a good tying. It's like you follow this man down his path to insanity. And it's almost like you can see it. It's almost like it's too real. It's too real to the point where, okay, now I can't introduce Doomsday to this because that just don't make any fucking sense.
Well, that was the controversy I was speaking of that people were really mad about or really concerned about, is that with everything that's going on in this day and age, political climate, the tensions, especially here in America, is this going to kind of vindicate those people who are feeling like this right now to go out and do something like this, where this person is then, there's a movie made about him? Because that was the thing about the Joker.
I got you. Are you making this movie to where some lunatic in real life now feels like he wants to go out and become the Joker? I will admit that I could see that. But unfortunately, what movie is not like that?
The Joker's a little bit different.
I know there's some movies that are over the top and ridiculous.
No.
Let's even think about the Dark Knight series. You could have had somebody that went out and said, I'm going to be the Joker like Heath Ledger. Let's look at Glass and even what's the name of the damn movie? I can't remember, but the Glass series, M. Night Shyamalan,
Split.
You would have, Split. You could potentially have somebody trying to do shit like that.
Well, see, the problem that's a little bit different with this is that in those movies, there's always a hero. In this one, there isn't. He is essentially the hero or made to be that. And that's what people are just like, okay.
I don't know that he's the hero.
But that's the thing. If there's no Batman character, I'm here to stop them type thing, there's no deterrent in those people's mind. And the whole thing about the Joker, which has always been very, very engaging and capturing to me, is he's very much like a real person. One bad day could fuck up anybody. And that's been his whole premise that's made him such a polarizing and kind of relatable character. And unfortunately, this is the wrong climate for that right now. So a lot of people are kind of scared with that, if that makes sense. It was the same thing where there was a movie that was supposed to come out called The Hunt, where basically rich people will take poor people. It'd be something like The Purge, but they'll just take poor people and hunt them over a weekend or whatnot. And at the end, if they can survive it or whatnot, they can win something or whatever. With stuff that's going on right now, that just wasn't a movie to come out right now.
Well, no, that movie actually has come out. It starred Ice-T and Rock.
You stupid.
But that's the same premise. I'm just saying, like, I get it. I understand that people are very sensitive to the times that we live in, but that's always been entertainment. That's always been movies. There's always been movies that reflect the times that they were made in. And this one kind of does, but it's a great, great movie that I think people should go see. And like I said, for people that are concerned about whether or not Batman is in how tightly or loosely it is actually connected to DC lore, just put that out of your mind and go see a really, 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 really good movie. I hope they do. I really do wish that DC would build off of this. I know that they're not, and I also understand why, because some of the more fantastical elements just may not fit. And I don't even know that you could do a sequel, man. Some movies just need to stand alone, and this might be one of them.
I really wish, like, Batman Begins is always going to be one of those movies where I'm like, okay, that's a great movie. Dark Knight is one that I think they should have stopped at. I will forever not like The Dark Knight Rises. It was just not done well to me. And when you do those types of movies, I don't really think that, just like what we were saying before with the microtransactions, I don't really think that the art, the crafts, the story is actually thought about. It's just, how much is this going to make me? So if it does well, there'll probably be a sequel somehow. And that's probably how they'll bring in fantastical elements to be able to make it make sense, or just to be like, don't pay attention to this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now, of course, all the producers and directors and everybody's saying it's not happening. But
that always changes.
I think what makes this one different, though, is like the way that they're even marketing the film. It's more of like a film festival film.
Yes.
Than it is even a major comic movie franchise type of deal.
Yes.
And I've even seen some people say, like another person that I was talking to about it, he was like, I'm not really even sure they originally wrote this as a Joker movie. Like, I think the movie was about somebody named Steve, and Warner Brothers was like, we just going to make it about the Joker.
No, this has been in production for a very long time as a Joker movie. So yeah, it's been like that for a while. Joaquin Phoenix was not always posed to star in it, but yeah, it's always been like that.
Oh, and let me say this. What's the boy name? Jared Leto?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I don't know if you still playing the Joker or not. I don't know if someone else is going to do it.
No.
Well, he's not.
Somebody else will do it.
Okay, because he can't come back as Joker after this.
Yeah.
I was okay with the new modern Joker,
I didn't think it was that bad.
Outside of that movie just being trash, period.
Yeah.
But so it's just got to be somebody new. It got to be a whole nother person.
He will actually be Morbius.
It can't be Jared Leto. Got to be somebody else. That's good. That's good because I really do enjoy him as an actor. But
yeah,
that Joker got to go now. We just need a different one. After seeing this movie, we just need a different Joker. Damn it! If we can't throw everything in the trash and start over, we just need a new Joker. I don't know who it's going to be. Let Kevin Hart or somebody do it. We just need somebody new.
You know what? I think we need to end the show on that because there is no coming back from that.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying.
No.
All right,
that man is in the hospital somewhere and you didn't put him in a movie.
I'm sure he would not mind that.
As the first black Joker. Lord have mercy.
I mean, hey,
You saw what happened when they voted Donald Glover for Spider-Man. Don't let them try to take that man out.
And he ended up being in the movie. So
that was hilarious. So that was badass. I love that.
He still got a check. So yeah, you're right. Let's go ahead and call this one an episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to the Cool Black Nerd Podcast. Again, check us out on social media. Always go check out saywhatradio.com. There are several podcasts in our network that I think everybody would enjoy and love and just have a great time listening to.
Always. We out.